Oh yeah, and Zadar has a strange thing called a sea organ that looks and sounds like this.
Yo, what?
It's neat and creepy at the same time.
Organ.
I would be thinking that Poseidon trying to call us.
Like mermaids calling you or something.
Right.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction.
Yes.
Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and
And
we're new to you, make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 100K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Today we are going to discuss 101 Dalmatian Islands. Ha! Actually, it's more like 580. But first, the flag of Croatia is a little bit more fun and jubilant than most flags because it has the iconic checker pattern in the center. First of all, the flag is a horizontal tricolor that utilizes the pan-Slavic colors of red, white, and blue in equally sized stripes. The blue stands for freedom and hope, the white stands for peace and unity, and the red stands for the revolution and sacrifices.
Yeah,
in the middle is
that.
the coat of arms with the iconic shahovnica, or the checkerboard shield patterned with red and white squares, sometimes referred to as the cheki. Some will say that this is because long ago there were like two Croatias. One was called Red Croatia, one was called White Croatia, with little evidence supporting that theory. There are 5 shields on top of the cheki that form a crown above the shahovnica, each one representing the historical regions of Croatia. The first one is for Croatia proper, with a crescent and a 6-pointed star. Dubrovnik with 2 red stripes on a dark blue shield. Dalmatia with 3 crowned leopard heads. Illystria with a golden goat with red hooves because, hey, why not? And finally, Slavonia with a 6-pointed star, 2 silver stripes, and a pine marten running on a red field between the silver stripes. Yeah, for such a small country, those 5 regions have had an impactful historical upbringing. Let's discuss more about that in.
Okay.
First off, before we jump in, you might hear a lot of other countries, specifically in the Slavic world, using the word Hrvatska referring to this country instead of Croatia to a lesser extent. It's kind of like that whole thing with Germany.
Wir sind Deutschland.
Oh, you mean Germany?
Allemand?
Tyskland, Niemcy, Saksa.
Nein!
First off, Croatia is located on the western part of the Balkan Peninsula in southern Europe, bordered by Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, hugging Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Croatia definitely got like a funny shape.
Yeah.
Like, almost like a dragon with his mouth open.
Yeah. When I see countries like this, it makes me wonder, like, to get straight across, you have to go through another country.
And is that legal? Enough to like where you gotta have. I mean, I don't think they need passports.
Well, they have
in Europe.
the EU passport,
Yeah.
right? I think so. Yeah.
I don't think they need.
They are
passport.
part of the union.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, I believe so.
We learned that like very beginning.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
way at the beginning.
Months and months ago.
Giving them a small coast on the town of Neum and just barely have a 10-mile or 16-kilometer wide border with Montenegro at the southernmost tip of the country on the Adriatic Sea. The country is divided into 20 counties and the country's capital is Zagreb. Fun side note, the small Bosnian Herzegovinian port of Neum splits the country's Dalmatian coast, technically creating an exclave for the Dubrovnik-Neretva area. They were thinking of building a bridge on the Pelješac Peninsula so the entire country would be navigable by road, but plans were canceled in 2012. Speaking of which, historically, Croatia was divided into 4 general regions. You'll probably hear a lot about these if you go to Croatia. They are Croatia proper, Istria, Slavonia, and Dalmatia. Speaking of which, Dalmatian dogs are said to have origins in Dalmatia, hence Dalmatian. Okay, no more rabbit trails. We really need to get back on top. Now, of course, because of its complicated past that we really don't have a lot of time to discuss, Croatia has quite a few land and sea disputes, as well as enclaves and exclaves, but I'm just going to list some of the most notable ones. The Bay of Piran, the Dragona River, the Sveta Gera, all that mess on the Mura and Drava rivers. Then we get to Serbia and it looks like earphones that were just pulled out of your pocket. The funny thing is, nobody really pays much attention to these places, which is why when outsiders do, funny things happen. Back in 2015, a Czech guy came in and self-proclaimed his own micronation called Liberland on the supposedly unclaimed island in the Danube. He was totally arrested. But he wasn't the only one. 2 other guys tried unsuccessfully to attempt the same thing on separate islands and failed. The country has over 1,000 islands on the Adriatic coast, even though only about 50 of them are inhabited. The largest ones being Cres and Krk, which even though Croatia Croatia ranks around 125 in country landmass, it's all the way up to spot 20 in coastline length. That's more than Sweden and South Africa combined. In your face, Mongolia! By the way, homework assignment, see if you can find this heart-shaped island off of Croatia's coast. Zagreb may be the capital, but people come here to see Pula, Zadar, Split, and Dubrovnik. The Croatian coast is acclaimed by many to be by far one of the most captivating places in the entire world to visit, especially to witness a sunset. Oh yeah, and Zadar has a strange thing called a sea organ that looks and sounds like this. Okay, let's talk about plants and animals and stuff now, shall we?
Is that the buildings or was that an animal?
Hold on.
Captivating places in the entire world to visit, especially to witness a sunset. Oh yeah, and Zadar has a strange thing called a sea organ that looks and sounds like this.
Yo, what?
That's neat and creepy at the same time.
Organ.
I would be thinking that Poseidon trying to call us.
Like mermaids calling you or something.
Right.
Yo, that's unexplainable. I don't know. Y'all gotta detail that out a little bit more.
Let us know. Like,
what's happening?
Is it constant?
Is the wind doing that?
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe,
huh?
Interesting.
And it's loud too.
Yeah.
Yo,
it reminds
crazy.
me of those of the roads. Remember I showed you the roads, like they have one in Canada and they have one in like California, I think.
Oh, you gonna buzz ahead with this one?
When you drive over it, and if you drive at the speed you're supposed to be driving, it'll create a tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that
Look that up. Yeah, that was dope when I heard about that.
Okay, let's talk about plants and animals and stuff now, shall we? Okay, so Croatia may be primarily known for its coast. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't any notable features inland. Although a lot of the land outside of urban centers is used for farming, Croatia still retains some world-renowned nature zones and national parks. First of all, the country is kind of split along the Dinaric Alps that meander diagonally across the northwest regions, all the way to the south along the border of Bosnia and Herzegovina. The division kind of encapsulates the inner flatter areas that slope down into the Pannonian Basin, where all the rivers like the mighty Danube flow. Because of this division, Croatia experiences quite a contrast in climate, even though the country takes up a small area. Zagreb can be completely different from Dubrovnik at any given time. About half of the entire country is made up of karst topography, which is basically another word for dissolved, cavey, limestoney ground that erodes into fascinating shapes and providing a network of basically cavey area. Just like we studied in Bulgaria, Croatia is loaded with caves. It's not that hard to find them, and many of them are absolutely breathtaking. Caves like the Blue Grotto on Bishevo Island and the incredibly deep Velebit caves that go down nearly 1,400 meters. Ah, that's cute. The one place that everyone in Croatia will proudly boast over will be the famous Plitvice National Park, which contains the Plitvice waterfalls and lakes, which is where the coolest music duo on the planet, Stephen Hauser and Luka Schulich, filmed their Mumford & Sons cover video. I can't believe I missed you guys like a month ago.
If y'all need us, I'm gonna rerun that for you. We have another channel, Demouchet REACT 2.0, where we'll be turning up over there pretty soon. Yeah. You're thinking what I'm thinking.
What you thinking?
Oh, I gotta say it?
Yeah.
Oh, if this what they do out there in Croatia with the violin playing on by the riverside, y'all can send that to us. We can actually get into detail about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, some music and stuff.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Plitvice National Park, which contains the Plitvice waterfalls and lakes, which is where the coolest music duo on the planet,
That's
Stephen
really
Hauser
nice.
and Luka
It's a
Schulich,
nice
filmed their
Different.
Mumford & Sons cover
let's
video.
take a
I
picture.
can't believe I missed you guys like a month ago when you came into my town and did a concert. Sorry, I love two cellos. They're a great band. What? I can like music. Croatia also has that small Đurđevski desert and a wide range of wildlife such as bats, otters, elk, boar, martens, wolves, and that incredibly rare Eurasian lynx, the largest land cat in Europe that can be found here as well. The coast, though, once again takes the center stage when it comes to Croatia's spotlight moment. Because of its islands and coast, Croatia has had a huge boost in tourism in the past 2 decades, an industry that outsiders didn't exactly have access to prior for the longest time, and the reason why will be discussed in... Croatia has a really long history on who it is and how it got to where it is now, and I'm just going to summarize it in like 8 seconds. Roman Empire, Kingdom, Subordinate, Empire State, Wars with Turkey, Yugoslavia 1, Nazi Puppet, Yugoslavia 2, Civil War, and finally, European Union member. See, that wasn't so hard.
You forgot the Illyrians.
First of all, the country has about 4.5 million people and is actually one of the 30 or so countries experiencing a population decline. The country is made up almost entirely of ethnic Croats, around 91%. Serbs make up about 5%, and the rest is a slew of other people.
I wondered though, like that's big. You know, population decline is important. Why are people, like, why is the ratios going down? Like, are we moving? Is there something going on that we don't know about?
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I like to know. We'd like to know more about that.
Yeah.
100%.
groups, mostly Slavic, but toss in a few Italians, Jews, and why not some Chinese, and hey, you got Croatia. Now, like mentioned in the Bosnia-Herzegovina episode, pretty much everybody in the Slavic Balkan nations can understand each other, especially these 4 countries. The only difference is that these 2 write in the Cyrillic alphabet and these 2 write in the Latin alphabet. It's a little more difficult for these 4 countries to understand the remaining Baltic states, like Slovenes and Bulgarians and Macedonians. I mean, the former Yugoslav Republic... just call them Macedonians.
I don't get why
Seriously,
you
I don't understand why
wait,
you
you're
and
just
Bulgaria.
claiming
I'm not
it's
even
yours.
part of you. I
It's
never
mine.
was part of
It's not
you. You always
yours.
think
It's
I have a
mine.
Guys, can we get back to my episode?
Shut up, Croatia!
Nonetheless, the funny thing is pretty much all Slavs, whether they're from Russia, Poland, or the Czech Republic, which by the way just changed its English name to Czechia, or the Balkan Slavs, can all pretty much hold a basic simple conversation with each other and get by if they speak really slow and articulate well. It would be like if a Jamaican guy tried to speak to a Singlish-speaking guy.
Behind the statue, the coffee shop with the boom boom.
No, I say it's on the right side of the statue.
The statue, I'm gonna look behind. I'm gonna look to right, man.
Alamak,
Look
you used
behind.
to-
How am I gonna know what you said? Boy, you said behind.
Alamak, no lah. You know this is right, this is left. You very simple
They're
one.
right. Okay, they're right. Okay. All you had to say is they're right, not behind. Clear now.
Yeah lah, clear already lah. Alamak,
On
give
the
you
right.
simple instruction also don't know.
You are clear now.
Okay lah.
I feel like they both to slow down, they'll get it.
Yeah,
They'll understand each other. Like they kind of basically sounding the same.
Right.
Well,
already lah.
Guys, that was Kevin and Leighton. Give them a round of applause. Another quick way you can tell the Slavic Balkan states apart is the denomination. Croats and Slovenes are predominantly Catholic, while Serbs and Montenegrins are typically Orthodox. Croatians love water polo, and don't even get started on the whole Nikola Tesla thing. He was a Serb.
But he was born here.
But he was a Serb!
But he was born here.
Oh,
Essentially, Croatia went from the fall of Yugoslavia and socialism in the 90s and the Civil War in the mid-90s to being labeled as the top travel destination by Lonely Planet in 2000-something. I think it was like 2005.
Dude, Paul, seriously, we gotta check our sources. You're making us look bad.
Shut up, Brandon! I'm doing my best! Let's talk about Croatia's friends.
Okay, let's see.
In order to understand Croatia's friends, you kind of have to look at 2 things, business and religion. First of all, they're neighbors. When it comes to Serbia and Croatia, it's kind of like, part of Serbia, part of Croatia, I don't get it, it doesn't make it.
We understand that.
Croatia and Serbia have a lot of historical beef, but they hate to kind of admit that they secretly are kind of a little bit totally attracted and hot for each other. Business and diplomacy is still very big between these 2, and ultimately they still...
okay, random thought. I take it back. Not a dragon, a seahorse. All right.
Yes.
Now we can get back into it.
Yes.
Just had to say it.
Crazy.
cooperate pretty well. I was told that typically they even give each other a lot of points in Eurovision or something like that, and that just proves it. Eurovision proves everything. Slovenia was like a good friend that still held a few grudges since Slovenia was the first to join the EU, and they originally vouched for Croatia, but then they were like, wait, before you get in, we gotta settle some disputes, otherwise I'm blocking you. And they did. And then it got messy, and then it got fixed. The end. By default, Croatia has an affinity for Catholic-dominated countries like Italy, Spain, and Ireland, especially the Irish, since they kind of empathize with the whole struggle with the UK, and they are totally fangirls of the Vatican. When it comes to their best friends, however, they would probably say Germany and Poland. Germany is a really close friend since they are kind of seen as like the promised land after so many Croatians moved in and made fortunes there. Germans also love visiting and doing business. Without a doubt though, Croatians love it when the Polish stop by. They're like the best friend who lives far away but Skypes every week and sees them twice a year. On top of that, Pope John Paul II was from Poland, who liked Croatia so much that he visited 3 times. In conclusion, Croatia is kind of like the surfer cousin of the Slavic countries. After all the drama subsided, he opened up a hotel and a tiki bar on the beach, got a tan, and was all like, "What's up, world? Come take a vacation in Croatia." Stay tuned. Cuba is coming up next. Hey, John.
Yes. Yeah, I think they're moving. I think a lot of people doing a lot of traveling and
Yeah,
getting
that's
comfortable
what
in
it
other
seems
spots.
like. It seems like they're friends with a lot of different countries.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is like really our first time really digging into Croatia. I know that we did do like some cities in Croatia before. Not really sure, but I remember us looking at like the architecture, but we never really got into the culture.
Yeah.
So I would love to, dig a little bit more into the culture.
Definitely can do that next.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how soon, but soon.
Soon. Yes, so we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our join feature to become a VIP member of the channel. Send in your reaction request through our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.